Another day, another Topic Town.
Mm-hmm. That's what we say around here at Topic Town.
That's the first time anyone has ever said that.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right, Craig?
Let's go to Topic Town.
What are we going to talk about today? What we're going to talk about is somebody suggested this. Let me look them up quickly. But somebody asked us to talk about our top three albums.
Top 3 albums.
Yeah. And
we both went at the same time just now. Here's the thing, guys. We are obviously indie rockers. We're in a band together. We're going to have similar tastes, and it's going to be a very specific type of music.
Unlike every other top 3 we've had.
Yeah, unlike every other top 3, which were vastly different. We have known each other for like 12 years, 13 years. You find similar tastes and things.
It's like being married.
Similar experiences. It is. This is getting weird. But this is it's probably going to be a specific type of music that some of you might not even like. But this is what we're doing, okay?
Yeah. What do you like about music?
What do I like about music?
Yeah. What gets your goat about music?
It makes me feel things. Makes me feel.
Well, I guess what do you look for in music?
I like to feel things. Seriously, I like when a song is going on. I like to pick out the different aspects of a song and think about what people are doing. I'm ever a critic. I am, and you are as well. Listen to the drums and think about, oh, that was an interesting way to do that beat.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that guitar with that bass going in that dissonant place. Like, ooh, I like that. At that moment, it feels like a little journey, a little sound journey.
Yeah, I agree. Like when I'm listening to songs, whatever, and I'm often like I try to notice like when things do things unexpectedly, but but it done well, in a way that like it doesn't bring attention to itself in the song. So I like, and because I also appreciate when things are done pretty straightforward, but it's done, it's really accomplished in the way they do it. You can appreciate that too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm less about the displaying of talent. Like I don't really care that much about how good someone is at guitar or drums or whatever. It's more about how they use it.
Yeah, well, I think real greatness or real talent in being a musician is when it isn't flashy or it's not as noticeable, when it's subtle and you only really notice it if you're really listening to it for it.
Because I think if you're really good at something, I mean, there are very talented people and I respect great guitarists, but it really just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
A lot of practice to get that good.
Yeah.
And I respect that. But to me, that's more mechanical. There's less feeling involved in that.
Yeah, you don't have to be that good at it to make good songs too.
Right.
There's tons of people who aren't doing slash solos who make great music.
Like, they even make sloppy music, but it ends up being good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at Neutral Milk Hotel, for instance. The guy hits the wrong notes all the time in his voice, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I really like it.
Makes it seem more human, more personal, I think, when that kind of stuff happens.
Right. So with that said, we're gonna talk about our top 3
albums,
which is impossible.
Yeah. I think I kind of approach this as like the first 3 I could think of.
For me, it's 3 different eras of my life.
Oh, okay.
And moments. Well, I'll explain. Should I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
So these are different moments. Significant, like when I listened to this album, it sort of opened my eyes to rock and roll. I finally understood what rock and roll music was and how it could make you feel and why it was so powerful.
Before then, you were like, "What is this rock and roll people are the kids are talking about?"
Absolutely. Well, come on. I knew what rock and roll was, but it didn't really fully get it. I didn't really get it. This is the first time I really got into something. I was listening to it on headphones. I think I remember specifically where I was. I think I was in the car in the parking lot of a mall with my mom. And I was listening on headphones. I think we were waiting for someone to get in the car. And I was listening. I had listened to the album before, but I never listened to it that closely. And it was Weezer's Blue Album. That's
a good one.
I was listening to that and I was like, I get this thing. I understand why this is great. But it's something you have to experience yourself. You can't really describe it to somebody. And after that, I think, is when I decided to learn guitar. And I started learning Weezer songs and Nirvana songs and a bunch of songs. Basically, that's how I started playing guitar. I just learned the songs that were popular at the moment.
I think also the Weezer Blue Album really lends itself to, I don't know, inspiring somebody to want to play guitar, because the guitar on it is really good. It's also pretty straightforward.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, you can listen to it and be like, I think I can do that. If I had a loud enough amp and I knew how to play a guitar, I could do this.
Right.
I mean, there's some intricate solos in it, but they're pretty minimal too.
Yeah.
Not all over the place, not really in your face.
Yeah, it's like the songs are not about. I mean, there's some cool solos and stuff, but it's more about the overall feeling of the song.
Yeah.
And just rock and rollness. It's just a celebration of rock and roll, in a way. And I understood it, and it changed my life. Okay, yours.
The first one we talk about is Pinkerton by Weezer.
Wow, Weezer was very influential on us.
I think Pinkerton I think is a progression from the Blue Album. And I think a little bit, I like it better than the Blue Album.
I think you can make that argument that it's better than the Blue Album, but it didn't have the profound impact on me like the Blue Album did.
Yeah, Pinkerton had a different impact on me, and it took me a while to actually like that album. And I think it wasn't until like college that I really sort of got into Pinkerton, and it just felt so. I think it feels a little more alive than Blue Album, where Blue Album is really straightforward and really accomplished. Pinkerton seems a little dirtier and a little wilder.
It's a lot about Rivers Cuomo having relations with young Asian women.
Maybe, but it was actually based on a concept. Yeah. It was a concept album at first. Yeah. About some space travelers.
Oh yeah.
I think the idea was that like there was only two there, and like the guy only had one woman he could sleep with, so he was getting bored of her or something like that.
That doesn't come across.
It doesn't really come across.
No.
But I like that was sort of the origins of it. But the album itself seems to come across as like this very personal confession by Rivers about I don't know, in a way, like being disillusioned with sort of the rock star promiscuous lifestyle. In some ways being disillusioned with it, in some ways kind of championing it, but it's complex in what he's talking about, and I just like the way it sounds,
and it rocks pretty hard at times.
Yeah,
but we're talking a lot about Weezer. We need to move on.
Yeah.
This is not a video about Weezer. Apparently, it is. My second album. A few years later, I went to college, and after learning a bunch of songs that I knew on the radio, all I knew was the radio. I grew up in small town Wisconsin. Didn't have any record stores in our town. And moved to college, and I learned all about a whole new world of music. Music that was going on that wasn't on the radio.
Faraway land of
Thanks
Madison.
to this guy and Nate Bartley, the drummer for Driftless Pony Club. The album that just happened to come out that year that I think I went to college, or the year after, was Modest Mouse, The Moon in Antarctica.
Yeah,
and
that's one of mine too.
Yeah, well, it's a great album. First of all, there's 15 songs. I like every one of them. But it's more about the impact it had on me, because I can't just say an album is the best. It's too hard. There's too many. But it had a big impact on me because I understood a whole new world of music that was going on. That was, they were very popular, but they weren't even played on the radio. There was something else going on. And nowadays it's all internet. That was the beginning of it. But it's just something about his voice is just ugly and terrible in a way.
That's the thing about Modest Mouse, I think, and especially on Moon Antarctica, is that there's a lot of ugliness to kind of the way the guitar is played. But it's also really beautiful. Like he's a really good songwriter, and there's a lot of really beautiful melodies to it. So there's like this ugliness and beauty to it that come together and make this. I don't know. It's come together in a cool way.
And a cool collage of ugly beauty.
Yeah.
Was that your next album?
Yeah, I mean, it might as well be.
Okay, what's your number one then? Well, this isn't
not number one. But
no, it's not in order. Never mind.
Just one of my favorite.
Order of my life.
Yeah. But I'm going to talk about basically one of the last great guitar-based Radiohead albums, which is OK Computer, which I really like because it's so big, and you also feel it has that bleakness to it. It's so bleak, but also it rocks, like with like, I don't know, like Paranoid Android, which is this, you know, amazing sort of like 3-part song that goes through all these different stages. It's all over the place, but at the same time it has a real cohesive feel, and it's I think what I consider the last great Radiohead like guitar album, because after that they went somewhere else, which was great too, but they went a different direction after that.
Well, my third one was gonna be Boxer by The National, because that's the kind of music I've been listening to mostly lately. So that I'm just going in order of my life. But now I've changed my mind because of your suggestion, and I'm gonna say Kid A, Radiohead Kid A, because I forgot about that. That came out when we went to college, and that was the only experience I ever had of like a frenzy about an album. There was listening parties when that came out. It was a big deal, at least in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of talk. It's like, is it going to even be good?
Yeah,
because it was supposed to be really weird. Like people couldn't even explain what it was going to be.
And we downloaded it before it came out and stuff, or some of it.
There was like, I think there were like, you know, like unmastered mixes or something that came out that were leaked or something.
And it turns out it is my favorite Radiohead album and one of my favorite albums of all time. It's always going to probably be in my top 10 lists of albums, would be Kid A. Love it.
Yeah, and I think in the history of music, Kid A is probably more influential than OK Computer, because it kind of it changed everything. in a way it did. We might be overdoing it. It really affected like the 2000s music, and like what a rock band was. You know, like they don't even really play guitar on that album. It's all
although apparently it was a lot of those noises were just guitar,
but it doesn't sound like, you know, a typical, you know, good guy playing guitar. It sounds like a bunch of computers doing stuff, but it still has a real, you still feel it. You know, you still feel the rock in there.
And number 4 would be Magnificent by Driftless Punk Club.
Yeah. Greatest album of the second decade of the 21st century.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm just quoting Pitchfork. But.
Oh, yeah. No, you're not. Okay, that is all. Let's play a song. Yeah. We better play a song on this one, I guess.
Yeah.
What are we going to play? Okay, do it.
It's gonna be...
This song is on your favorite album. It's track number 3. It's about what you want to be.
It's the top 3 albums in your video.
You changed what my song was about. The song is about being on your favorite album. Mid-song we changed it. That's how experimental it is. Oh!
It's a song. You like it because it makes you feel
you good. Like it.
It's a song on an album that you like a lot. Out of 3.
Done.